Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. And today we are what? Hogadash, yeah? I think, no, yes, Hogadash we are today. So it is great to have Dave of Moonrider back with us. But of course, I'm going to introduce everyone as I usually do. So to my side, you see, I want to go this way, but it's supposed to be this way. Lady G, of course. Beneath me, in what would normally be, of course, Lena's position, we have Sheila of Celtic Tarot. And of course, diagonally to my side, but I need to go this way, we have Dave Johnson of Moonrider. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. You're piling in. Apologies that the show was a little bit late up. I was literally catching up on the UK news. So just in case you're not sure, guess who's in town in my neck of the woods?
Can you smell him from where you're at?
And you can have him for a while.
Keep him. Keep him.
He's yours.
Duck L'Orange, everyone. Duck L'Orange.
But aren't they putting up the Epstein pictures and stuff like that?
Yes.
Some sort of castle.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, good for the British.
Oh yeah, they're trolling him bad.
They always do good commentary, great trolling.
But then again, on the opposite side, didn't they have a great big old huge protest or something along that line when Charlie Kirk died?
Right. Well, no, it's what it was. That was a separate protest. That was basically about immigration to the UK, and then it wasn't. It wasn't. It
wasn't just for Charlie because
no.
We get lied to and said it was just for Charlie.
No, there was a separate march, but then Elon Muskie joined by live link on that one. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. Gosh. And so welcome everyone to the show. I'm just going to quickly read off this just to make some little points, and we've got some questions about this, but I'm just going to read it off just to put some context to things. So for those that may not know, Duck L'Orange, aka the orange one, is currently visiting the UK. He is getting a second state visit, which is unprecedented for a US president. That has never happened before. He, of course, visited once upon a time, a little while back, while Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II was still alive, and now of course he is back in. And this is the first time as well that I think a US president has also been given a state visit to Windsor Castle. So let me just put here, I'll put here Trump unprecedented state visit. Oh, also as well, now look, you guys will remember when I was pulling cards. Do you remember I said, look, the UK is going to have to pull some moves, yeah? Like I said, like basically tits and teeth. I said you're going to have to get Kate out there. Yeah, tits and teeth. Get the tiaras on, get the dinners going and stuff like that, because I said this is going to be a charm offensive. And it is true. They have rolled everything out, yeah? Everything out, which of course, Duck L'Orange is glowing. He is glowing. He is floating off the floor because he loves all this royal attention. But off the back of that, what has just been announced in the UK is that Microsoft is going to invest $30 billion now in the UK in a supercomputer to help develop artificial intelligence and data centers galore, of course. And it's the biggest investment Microsoft has made in the UK. It will check bank records and all of that stuff. So obviously it's going to be used as a thingy-bob of control. But anyway, putting that aside. And Keir Starmer said the UK is now at the forefront of digital innovation. And Microsoft said they wanted to be in the EU, and now they're going to be on the UK. So you see, the charm offensive is already bearing fruit. Not endorsing it, but I just knew this is what we would have to do. Yeah, it's our trump card. Yeah, and then I put here, Duck L'Orange is loving it. He's with Melania, was with Queen Camilla, and then I put here, let's not forget, Trump is also technically. We've got to remember, Trump is half British. Remember, his mother is Scottish. So what they did with the music, they did the US anthem, UK one, And they got the Scottish Grenadiers out and all of that kind of stuff as well. Yeah, I know. Sheila's shaking her head, but this is called real politics, folks. Yep, I knew this would happen. And then what have I put here? Also, as well, I made a note. Trump's cankles seem to have reduced. I just noticed when he was sitting down, I just noticed the camera panned down. And you remember he disappeared for a couple of days, yeah? You guys remember that? And everyone's like, is he dead? And do you remember there were those little wires that could be seen? And I said, we were speculating that. I think, again, for entertainment purposes only, he's had some kind of pacemaker fitted, something like that. Because the cankles weren't there this time and he was showing them, yeah? Or maybe it was just the angle, but
Yeah,
I could see them.
A pacemaker is literally an in and out thing. To put a pacemaker in, they just they put it, yeah. So that could be possible. Somebody was saying it was something else. I'm like, no, that's too long of a procedure. But I never thought of a pacemaker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do you remember we've all been getting, but we all know
don't
that
have
he's not well.
wires.
Yeah, we all know that he's not well, but there was something with two wires that was going up there, and that's not been seen before, but that's my instinct. Yeah, remember, we know Doc Larange is not well, but unfortunately he has a lot of good Medicaid and, well, not Medicaid, he's cutting that for everyone. He's got medical people, you know, all that. And then also as well, Peter Mandelson, the scandalous guy who is the envoy to the US, he's been sacked again, for those that don't know, for his connections to Epstein. But guess what? I think that's why he got the job in the first place. They said Mandelson helped arrange the state visit. So you see how it's all working for entertainment purposes only. And then there were some Brits wearing MAGA hats at apparently like gathered around because they are pro-Trump and pro-Farage. So there's protests.
They can keep him.
Yeah. But you do have people as well that are kind of like, oh, anyway, I thought I would just share that. Let's dive into the questions and get the show on the road. But I just had to talk about those bits and bobs. First place we're going to go to Europe. I didn't have a chance to number out all the questions, so forgive me, guys, not quite as organized as I would normally be. But this is coming from Manuela Orchid. And then we've got some questions, USA, and all of that stuff. So Manuela says, hello, lovely souls. My question today is, will there be big protests in Europe against governments? And she says, thank you so much. And she said, is it true that King Charles is the head of the World Economic Forum? He isn't. Yeah, I just Googled it. He does want to do environmental things. And then anyway, so let's look at this. Will there be more marches and protests in Europe? Yeah. Let's get the cards. And we'll go clockwise. So Lady G will be reading her card first. And let's do one card pull on this, yeah? And then, of course, Dave, you can give your insights or cards, however you wish to respond.
All right.
Oh, he has cards. I've seen him.
I do.
You want to? Yeah, you should play with us.
I'm going to get right to the chase this time, just to mix it up. Right.
All right. So what we'll do is let's pull, and Lady G will be first. All right. Will there be more protests in Europe? All right. Are we ready? All right. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. And Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
I would say yes, because they want the truth.
Yeah. Is that the Page of Swords? Is that the Page of Swords? Or?
Queen of Swords.
Ah, right. Queen of Swords. Oh, lovely. Thank you. And Dave, what are you getting?
I'm going to say yes. I keep seeing your I think it's Big Ben, or it might be the your Parliament building, and I keep seeing like almost like an explosion, and I'm not sure if it's like a symbolic, like people are really going to protest, but it's like a fire or something. Again, I'm hoping this is just a symbolic thing but it's a lot. You know, it's not like, ooh, it is full on. Something's, I would say, in relationship to your question, absolutely there will be protests.
Wow.
Explosive ones, I would say. Yeah.
Wow.
It's feeling like more. Yeah.
Okay. And forgive me for making little notes here. I'm trying to catch up with myself. Sheila, how do you interpret your card? And what is it?
I have the Aeon.
Mm.
Aeon. If anybody knows how to say that properly, please do. But anyways, this card is the awakening, the opening, the going forward, opening up our wings. I know that I just did a remote on this, and it talked about how each and every person that has ever been suppressed in their life, this is the age, this is where we need to be. This is where we all start having a voice and start standing up for ourselves. And I think this is where it's at. And this right here represents that standing up, coming up and out of the water, the suppression. And yeah, I do think that it represents protest. Like we're gonna start talking.
Wow. Okay, and with my card here, I get the Page of Cups, which everyone famously knows I refer to as stinky fish. Yeah. And but the reason why I call it that is because this is unpredictable. The Page of Cups, if we look here, you see it's a young person. So again, that can talk about youth. The pages in general are youthful, but they always talk about messages. But you see here, the fish is kind of poking out of the cup. So this can often talk about an unpleasant message or something strange, left field, weird, or even rebellious. So I think when I tie my card in with everybody else's, I think there will be more protests, but some of them may be very surprising. It says to me they might be in places that we may not necessarily expect. So there's a left field element here. Anything to add to that, folks, before I bring in some of the viewers? No? All right. So who do we have in today?
What deck is it you're using? It's beautiful.
Oh, I use the Golden Art Nouveau deck.
Oh, it's stunning.
It's one of my favorites. I know it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Really?
Bit reflective with the lights, but I absolutely love it. I really do love it. So we've got some people here. Oh, look, some updating stuff. Joe says Jimmy Kimmel show just got suspended. Yep. Guys, can you elaborate on that for me? Who is Jimmy Kimmel again? I forget. Sorry.
Jimmy Kimmel is a talk show host. You know how Colbert got canceled because of Trump? Well, Trump spoke up again, and now he's starting to get Kimmel. Kimmel is the one that made the joke where he was up there and he said, isn't it time for you to retire? And Kimmel come back with, isn't it time for you to be arrested or go to jail or something like that? It was funny. I messed that one up completely. But anyways, Kimmel I like Kimmel a lot. He's a nighttime host that makes fun of Trump like the best.
Wow.
So,
this is a full-on dictatorship.
Isn't it time for you to go to jail? That's what it was. Isn't it time for you to go to jail?
Yeah. So Dave, you were saying, please elaborate.
It's like a dictatorship. If you talk against the dear leader, you will be fired. Jimmy Kimmel is certainly a money maker. So they're getting rid of him really for political reasons. It is just insane. It's like it's 1933 and we're living in Berlin.
Yes, unfortunately, particularly with the astrology and as you know, I've been preaching for ages about Pluto being in the sign of Capricorn, but the reason why that is important is because it's a very fascistic flavor. You guys, ladies, you know, you've been working with me for years now, and I've been talking about this for ages, just being like, I said it's going to feel like the 1930s again. It's extraordinary. Lady G, do you have anything any more opinion on what is he called? Kimmel? Is it Kimmel or Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. Well, apparently he was taken off because he said something about Charlie Kirk, which they didn't like. And I guess now they're talking about, is it the House or the Senate, on coming down on left-wing organizations.
Full-on dictatorship. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's just it's just astonishing. It's just astonishing, isn't it? It's just really astonishing. And as you guys know, again, me going banging on again, but look how everything is coming. Do you remember I warned everyone? I said 29th of March, everyone. I said it's going to be the rude awakening. We're going to see stuff happen in the United States that we've either never seen before or not seen for a long, long time. And look at this juxtaposition. So on one hand, here in the US, there is this crackdown on freedom of speech, which, of course, as we all know, is a First Amendment right for you guys. But it's obviously free speech only for certain people. So here you're getting this kind of dark dictatorship, but then that is contrasted with Duck L'Orange being at Windsor Castle in resplendent glory. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. And you see this kind of footsie game that is being played because of the tariffs. You have to ingratiate yourself, but at home for Americans, it's becoming dystopia.
It's hard.
Oh, it's just
Well, maybe somebody should get a letter off to your king and let him know that what he is doing is hurting 10 more people than just your country.
Well, the thing is, unfortunately, with these things, the royal family has had to entertain all sorts of unsavory characters. We've had, you know, all sorts of dictators, Mugabe, and all of this kind of stuff, and they are mandated effectively by the government to entertain who they are told to entertain. So, yeah, it's a bit more complicated. Should we move? Oh, sorry, go on, Dave.
Just saying that must be fun, entertaining dictators. I guess you're well paid for a reason. You do get really nice digs, but some disadvantages. The media, all your stuff. Right? I feel
they're royal, but it's a constitutional monarchy, so they have to follow the diktats of, and it's all to do with, you know, Charles I getting his head cut off and all of that kind of stuff, and then Charles II coming back. And now, of course, we have Charles III. All right, so let's move on to the next question. So, oh gosh, where to tackle? Let's look at question number. Let's see. I think. All right, let's go for USA this time, and let's talk about government shutdown. Government shutdown. And this is coming from Ashley Song. And let's do a full card reading on this, because when it affects the whole of America, potentially, or the whole world, I feel sometimes a longer reading is good. So Ashley Song says, hello, hi, Hogarth and friends. Will there be a government shutdown? Please call your, and they go on to say, please call your senators not to vote for the CR or their awful budget. Thank you. What's the CR? What do they mean? CR?
I forget what that means.
The CR, I haven't heard it that sort of way.
Yeah, I can't think what it is. I would just say for anyone who's writing questions in, is please better to actually spell it out, because we may not always understand.
Continuing resolution.
Oh, continuing resolution. Okay. All right. So will there be
come through? They always do.
So full card read. Will there be a government shutdown? And then, of course, Dave, you give your intuition, and you're going first this time.
Okay.
Oh, God, it's the same dance every year, isn't it? All right, Dave. Whenever you're ready to go, Dave, let rip.
Sure. I'm often seeing Eric Swalwell these days, which kind of gives me a little bit of hope, because I think he would be a decent candidate. But I often see him as representing the Democratic Party. And that's who I'm seeing. And when I see him, he is folding his arms like this, like, nope. and it seems like I have a feeling like the Dems will finally stand up and say no. And as he's standing there, there's like a big, huge human-sized dollar bill next to him. And he's just like, finally, we're going to do something. We're going to take our power. We're putting our foot down. Look, there is despite all the bad news and glitz, there's a little bit of an element like something has turned. Like it's almost like, the problem with the Democrats is they just never have any guts, right? And it has a feeling of them finally. Swalwell is like, we finally found our footing. We finally found a wall that we can use to stop them. And it's like a rampart almost of, I'm seeing Swalwell now. He's in one of your British castles. There's some people behind him, but I hope this is true. It seems to be true that this is like a space where the Democrats almost come forward and they're just like, okay, now I'm on TV. This is an excuse for them to actually stand up and do something. I think they've been floundering forever. And here, finally, they seem to be seizing the moment. So I'm guessing that they will stop it.
Okay. Sheila, thanks for that, Dave. Sheila, how do you interpret your cards?
Well, ironically, as Dave was, as he was talking, I was flipping over cards. I'm like, oh yeah, because I got the Knight of Wands, which that's the bill. That's them working on it. That's them getting it done, with their charge. But there's some sort. I have fire with that. So the fire element is like a burning desire, maybe some sort of, hidden agenda in the fire, something fiery about this. And then I got the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is like that infighting. And I think that's what Dave was talking about. It's like the infighting where the Democrats are like, no, I don't think so. I think we really have started to see the Democrats just mouth off, and I love it. I love every bit of the mouthing off, because what they get done is this, and it says strangulation. This is for entertainment purposes only, but they kind of strangle the bill, kind of gets strangulated. Like they really do something with the infighting, because I got the Seven of Cups. The Republicans want to put it as it's beautiful, wonderful, great, this, that, and the other. But something accident happens. So either they put it together wrong, they say something wrong, some sort of accident about the bill happens. And then I got the Queen of Pentacles, which it does kind of it tells me that it does go through, not as much as they wanted it to, but mind control also is in that, because it's like a narrative. They get it through and they're going to jumpstart another propaganda, BS, whatever it is that they're wanting with it. So it's good, bad, indifferent, ugly. It's a fight as usual.
Gosh, it's just, I just feel like this is just like the annual horror show that's dangled in front of the American public every year. Like every year there's this. Anyway, never mind. Okay, so will there be a government lockdown? I suppose what's encouraging is that the Strength card comes out first. So this is normally a card of literally strength, fortitude, also one of restraint. Yeah, if we look here, of course, we have the Maiden, who is taming this lion just with the force of her personality alone. Yeah, so this talks about restraint. It talks about strength. Hopefully there will be strength and restraint in basically in this debate coming up. And they're already talking about, raising the debt ceiling before with the big ugly bill anyway. So there's an element there. There will be terse words and confrontation. Here we've got the Page of Swords. So this can again talk about media. This can also talk about a spy in the camp. So expect maybe there might be some leaks around this and a little bit of gossiping, a bit of bitchy backstabbing and all of that kind of stuff, I would imagine. Here we have the Fool card, which you don't really want to see when you're thinking about, you know, the US budget and all of this kind of stuff. Again, I think this is just talking about there's going to be so much that is going on at that time because there are issues with the US economy because of obviously the tariffs and all of that kind of stuff. Here, this can talk about trying to take a leap of faith. So if we go with the more positive interpretation, having the strength card, but it's going to take a leap of faith. There might be something unusual here in order for the government not to shut down. But even as diabolical as this current regime is, I'll be surprised if they really go there, because the economy is they don't want to talk about how bad the economy is. Shutting down the government is not going to help. However, look, we've got the moon card here. So again, machinations, nothing is clear by moonlight. However, the outcome card here is the Six of Swords, which is about moving to smoother waters. The waters are calm, are rough on one side, calm on the other. So I'm hoping when I top and tail that the strength will potentially take to calmer waters, but I think it's going to be choppy. I think there's going to be a lot of rhetoric and a lot of slanging and all of this stuff, but hopefully it's okay. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, they're standing for their life path with this. So coming into it, the direction is still up in the air with what they're going to do. The energy coming into it is by the dark of night, but the Democrats are going for the truth, the heart of the truth with it. It's about control, and they want to get to a better place with it. At the heart of it, there are some things that the Democrats say they have to walk away from. And the light on it is some things are going to be cut. So I don't think that the Republicans are going to get what they want.
Right. Okay. This is really interesting. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully that will kind of work out. There's over 2,000 of you here right now with us. So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Thank you so much for your donations and your questions and interactions. Let's just read out some comments here. I'm going to click up on them. So thank you, Susie. Much, much appreciated. And someone says here, which is quite funny, says, Janice says, is there a way to take the comments off the screen? They are covering Dave and Lady G. The answer to that is no, unfortunately. But as you can see, they're not completely covering David or Lady G. And Lady G's up the top anyway, but never mind. But no, they in clicking on them, you can see it moves the screen up. But thanks for your concern. Here, Lynn Youngbuck says, Trump's mother was Scottish, but his father was German, according to his niece, Mary. That's interesting. Joan Baker says, he was 16 minutes late. King Charles doesn't like tardiness. Susan said he got indefinitely suspended because of remarks about Charlie Kirk. Yeah. This is, again, Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's late night show has been suspended indefinitely by ABC following controversial remarks he made about Charlie Kirk's death. Someone says, Kimmel, not Kimball. Craig Dixon says, full dictatorship, says Excuart things. What else? Here, yes, Jimmy Kimmel has gotten rid of. And the other guys, they plan on getting rid of them all. Yeah, that's something I'm worried about as well. And Ellen says, I'm concerned with the abuse of the First Amendment. This is wrong and it must be stopped. And thank you so much, Tricia. And thank you so much, Mountain Sage. So in a way, maybe in a little kind of segue here, let's actually talk about this as people are responding. Where do we see this kind of thing going? Because it is clearly anti-constitutional, because you guys have it in everyone knows about the First Amendment, the right to free speech. So Lady G, in your own words, and then Dave, and then Sheila, and then maybe let's do a one-card pull in it. So Lady G, what are your thoughts about these curtailments?
There's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming up about it because that is unconstitutional.
I really think that the only way that we're going to be able to change this is by protest. That we cannot count on the courts. It'll all go to the Supreme Court. They'll do anything Trump wants. They will tear up the Constitution to support him. They'll find a way to do that. So I keep seeing in my mind's eye, in some sense, this is good. We should have all protested when Bush was made president and Gore just kind of gave up. Would have been nice if we had some leadership there, but now we've let the Dems let the Republicans know, all right, if it's too hard, we don't need the presidency. So, that is kind of up to all of us. I like to say American democracy is a verb. It's not a noun. It's not a state of being. It is a constantly evolving and fighting thing. Black slaves built the White House. Okay, it's not like we were just democratic suddenly and as we liberated from Britain. It is an evolving thing. It is a changing thing. We constantly have to fight for the rights of women and those minorities who were free. It's going to take us hitting the streets, I'm afraid.
Yes.
We have to fight for our democracy.
Indeed. And Sheila, what's your take on the current situation?
Well, I could go spiritual and go up into the Akashic records, and they look down at us like, we've been through this before. We will get through it again, right? There's always that little aspect of it, but as in real-time experience, we're living it, we're feeling it. A lot of people are having a lot of trouble with this harsh energy. I've never experienced this harsh energy before. Even I have to do extracurricular activities just to keep me under control as well. I have that feeling of bubbling up and fighting. I have it. Everybody is right. There's going to be a point in time that every single American is going to go, we're not doing that. And the moment when we collectively think and have that thought, that's when the shift is going to change. And it's not going to happen to just Democrats. And it's going to happen across the board where we go, we're not doing that. So unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet. They know how to manipulate their people on every level. Do you think a planned assassination was for us? No, it's for them to manipulate his people. Do you think that not telling the truth about his health is for us? No, it's for his people. Everything he does is to manipulate his people. He knows we're a lost cause. And that is the difference, that when we have to keep on thinking, he's not doing it against us. He is literally manipulating and controlling his own people. And one moment they're going to go, we're not going to do that anymore. I can't wait, but I have a feeling but it has to happen.
Indeed. Let me just click up this comment here. Foggy Ozark says, hi, Hokie and crew. We seem to be getting marooned. Yes, so there is that element here of overwhelm because, of course, the astrology, as you know, I'm an astrologer. These are intense times. And when I've been warning about this stuff, it really wasn't a joke. I said, this is going to be intense. We are truly going to never see stuff that we've never seen. Well, we're going to see stuff that we've never seen before. You've heard me guys talking about October and all of this kind of stuff. And it doesn't mean that necessarily Duck Larange is going to be flat out, on the floor, whatever. Like I said, I think he's had some pacemaker or something fitted in there. You know what it is? With these wicked people, they really want to live because they know instinctively that their life review is going to be dreadful. So they try and postpone it as much as possible. Why else was there a hot mic between Putinshka and Xi Jinping, where they're both speculating about living to 150 years old by replacing their organs? Because they don't want to face mortality, but they will all have to. But what I anticipate is when Jupiter enters sidereal Cancer, which it will do on the 18th/19th of October 2025, but you got to give it a week or so before that. Jupiter is a big planet. There will be some massive realization. I think it could be economic news, or there could be even more stuff coming up on the 21st of September. Today's the 18th now as I do this. We also have the partial solar eclipse as well, and that deals with leaders. There's all sorts going on. French government has collapsed as well, and there's just too much going on. But let's look at the next question, because there's some really interesting stuff coming up here. Let me make sure that, here we go. This is coming from Trinity, yeah, and we'll do a 1-card pull on this. So Trinity said, so I've been keeping count with your head thing. She's talking about, sorry, I'm getting a WhatsApp here. 1 minute. Let me just put my phone on airplane mode so I don't get interrupted. Come on, there we are. So someone called Trinity said, I've been keeping up with your head thing. She's talking about the star Agol, which deals with beheadings, assassinations, all of that stuff. Look what's happened with Kirk, yeah? Uranus is going retrograde back towards that star, and of course, hitting the head. Anyway, so she said, I've been looking at your head thing, Hogarth, and so far, since you mentioned, I've caught 7 literal head incidents on the news. The question here is, the first supermoon of the year on October 7th is also Putin's birthday. What will his astrological presence be? Yeah, so let's have a little read on what's going on with Putin. I was watching some independent media that says there really are issues now in the Russian economy, but let's just have a read. So I think Sheila, you'll be going first on this one.
Okay.
And then
I also want to mention also of the lynchings that are happening in Mississippi. Those things are real. What? Yeah, 2 men have been hung by the tree.
On a tree.
In Mississippi. Black men.
What, black men? 2 black men? Or...
2 black men on a college campus. I don't know where the other one was. It may have been on a college, but yeah. And the media there is like, oh, he did it to himself. But according to some reports, the one of them had broken legs and broken arms. How is he going to get up there with that? I can get really passionate and really mad right now. So if anybody's hearing that from me, I got this thing inside of me that I just want to just, you know what I mean?
I wonder if Trump will lower the flag and it'll fly out.
Oh, absolutely not.
Not a chance.
I could see him raising the flag instead of lowering it.
Well, you know, I had this joke on TikTok where I said that, well, why didn't he lower the flag when all those children? And I thought to myself, well, the reality of that, if he lowered this flag for every child that got killed in this country by pew-pews, it would never go up to the top.
Yeah.
Right. We'd be burying it underground.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
This is astonishing. So I mean, that just emphasizes the point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like what it's saying. Algol also deals with the head. So of course, if you get lynched, you're hung by the head.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that I was worried about this time, and this is why I've used the language that I used. And when I said we will see things that we've either never seen before or not for a long time, and now look, imagine this is just gruesome.
Well, they're making it normal. That's what they're trying to do, is make it normal again. You know, I just get so, but we have to rise up. Like I said, there will be a point in time where everybody goes, we're not doing that anymore. We're not going to do that.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So
anyways, back to the question.
Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. But back to the, wow, my God. Oh dear, this is just so dreadful. Okay, so the moon, the first supermoon of the year on Putin's birthday. What will his astrological presence be?
Are we doing 1 card or?
Yeah, 1 card pull, and then of course Dave's interpretation.
Oh, I just felt Dave. Oh, Dave, I just felt what you were thinking, and literally the moon went black.
Well, let's see. Let's see.
Sorry.
Let's just see first.
Happened.
All right. Putin. All right. Let's do that. All right. So after 3, Sheila, you're going first. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh. I've just been sitting here shuffling for at least 15 minutes. I got the Aeon, The eon is like 500 and something years. Eon, and it has a lot to do with time, and it has a lot to do with rising up, and it has, if you can see the words in the front, and I'll read some of the words, is awakening to a higher purpose and truth. And it says reckoning on romance and understanding, and it says achieving significant milestones and an achievement. After reading all of that, I kind of forgot what the question really was after we were talking about the things.
Which is Putin. So the question is, so there's going to be the question is the first supermoon of the year. So just so you know, a supermoon is basically the moon is in a phase at the moment where it's a bit closer, quite a lot closer to the Earth. So a supermoon is when you get an extra full moon. It just looks really big. Yeah. So they were asking, what will Putin, because it's happening on October 7th, which they say is Putin's birthday, which I think is right. What will his astrological present be? And you've obviously got that card there.
Well, my first impression is crack open. So that is my first, and it talks about like years and years of all of this happening and coming to a head, and everybody awakening and stuff like that. I've always said, and I have to quit with this because we don't have much time, we are separating as a species. Lower humans, higher humans, and I don't know how else to say it other than through my language. And the lower humans will fall away and the higher humans will rise, and we will continue on. We are separating. As we have in the past, there has been humans and species of humans that did not make it. We are separating from species. That's my take on it.
All right. So here, with the Putin thing here, I've got the Two of Pentacles, and as you can see, this person is juggling. Yeah, this person is juggling, and he's juggling 2 coins. And here in the back, there is a stormy sea with 2 ships on it. Now, this for me is very interesting because this can literally talk about trying to juggle budgets, money, stuff like that. And there is, I think in the past it's been overplayed, but there is now genuine issues going on with the Russia's economy, because Ukraine has been so successful at attacking their oil refineries, which is the big part of their money. So what this shows to me is that if there are, there are economic issues, they're likely to develop. And you look in the background here, you see the seas are stormy, but this also talks about imports and exports. So I think these attacks are kind of essentially destabilizing the regime. And remember what I said, whenever Neptune and Saturn are together, which they are now, historically, that's never been good for Russia. So it's tough for Ukraine, but it's not good for Russia either. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I've got the reckless moment. So if I were him, I would watch my back since we have the bullet there, and I would not travel. Not a good time for it.
Fascinating. Thank you, Lady G. And Dave, what do you have? What are you getting?
Your remarks are really interesting. I might ask you even just to pull another card so I can fill this out. I'm seeing Putin. Putin gets to his limousine. The door's open, but he's hesitating before he gets in. And it's like a state car with the flags. And it's like there's a sunset here, and he's kind of looking at the distance, like there's my goal. But at the same time, he's standing at the door. And it has a feeling like he's marching down the steps like, hooray, victory. But he's getting to the door, and he's just like not getting in the limousine. He's not leaving. It's not taking off. He actually isn't able to get to a rather vague goal. Just something's wrong. I'm just not exactly sure what goes down. It's optimistic until it isn't.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah, something's not gonna work. And it's like, it looks like it's going to work, and then it doesn't.
Wow. So it's almost like a false impression. It may seem like a victory, but it's not a win. Wow. Very interesting. Okay, we'll have to look at that. Thank you so much, Sue. Thank you so much, Mila. Thank you so much, Rose, as well. Shortage of farmers, so short harvest in Russia this year. Food rations ration stamps 2 years now. Also, as well, do you remember I was telling you guys about, bizarrely, the flock, this invasion of these crop-eating antelopes? Do you remember I was telling you that about Russia? No, you guys may not know that, but it's got this big nose like this. And when the Saturn-Neptune conjunction first came in, hordes of these antelopes have come into Russia and eaten a lot of the crops. So apparently they're starting to get food shortages now as well in Russia. So just thought I'll give you that little bit. Here we are. So let's move on to the next question and try and squeeze in as much as we can in the minutes we have left. So Denise Ferguson has asked, the day of the Kirk event in Utah, there was also a rare earthquake not far away. This is interesting. Geologists are calling this upper mantle earthquake weird and odd. Instead of pulling rocks apart, it pressed them together and was 42 miles deep. Intuitively, I felt a shift happen that day with similar energies between Duck L'Orange, Butler, Pennsylvania event and this event, especially around security. Was the earthquake and the Kirk event energetically connected? And is this event much deeper and darker than we realize? What do the cards have to say? That's an interesting question, isn't it? So let's do a one card pull on that, because there's a few more questions and I want to squeeze them in. And then, of course, Dave, of course, your interpretations. I guess it's a contraction earthquake rather than, I don't know how to describe that.
We describe it as ergonomics for those who are geeks and love geology. Ergonomics, right? One goes this way, the other has to go this way. Ergonomics. So in order for the stress point to come this way, it has to stress somewhere else. However, it is very unusual for the Earth to do the opposite. It's almost it's almost like there's a stress point somewhere that is failing. I hate to say it.
All right. So are we ready?
Yeah.
So I'll be going first on this one. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! Look what's come back. How interesting. When I always say, whenever a card comes back, Spirit is trying to make a point. And the question was the earthquake somehow connected with what happened with Mr. Kirk? And isn't this interesting? Now, this card, of course, it is the juggling of coins. But remember, coins isn't just money. It deals with values and it deals with the earth. It's the element of earth is coins. And here, of course, you can see they're juggling. It's in flux. And if you look, the background, of course, is topsy-turvy. So I'm going to say I feel like there is some kind of energetic connection between the two, because I really do feel like we have shifted some kind of timeline. I've got my own question marks around Kirk, particularly with his powerful donors that don't like him, again, for entertainment purposes only. But I think this energetic shift and his unaliving are maybe in some way connected, and this contraction is also symbolic of a wider contraction and a consolidation perhaps of power. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I got the card of, again, contraction. You know, this is the grasping, bringing it together rather than an expansion. So yeah, I would say this contraction. And then I think what's going on with the uber right, again, they're trying to consolidate and get even more, you know, held together, strengthening.
Yeah, I agree. Dave, what are you getting?
You know, there's just something about Mother Earth. You know, it's just, I don't think we can underestimate Mother Earth and how much the shift is going on. If you're a believer in Dolores Cannon, a new Earth is being born, right? And you know, these are literally contractions, right? And when the new Earth is born, it's kind of going to be a divide between some people who are more awake and some people who are not. Many people have different versions of what that could mean. But I just, Charlie Kirk, this story is just beginning. There's just a feeling that I'm like, there are layers upon layers upon layers. One thing too is, I said this before, it looks really dark, but MAGA's turning on each other, right? They're already accusing, all their conspiracy theories, they're now using against each other regarding Epstein files and regarding Charlie Kirk's death. Who is the black lady? I just can't stand her, who's conservative and she just spews conspiracy. Candace Owens. She's now coming and saying, oh no, this is a big conspiracy theory and it's fake. So one thing that you'll notice is the conservatives are eating each other. Now that Trump may be leaving, they're starting to feast on each other. And I think that's going to stop them from doing some of their worst instincts. Is they're, that narcissists want everybody, Candace Owens wants everybody to pay attention to her, right? And she goes on and says things like, well, I don't know if we went to the moon or not, and you're like, well, Candace, maybe you want to watch a movie about it and do some research. But they're going to feed on each other. This is just a beginning for this almost it is like a social earthquake, this perpetual shifting and revaluing of things. We really care about our government. We're moving forward to say, no, it's not passive. It is active and it's not going away. This is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right. So maybe this earthquake in a way is symbolic of an implosion, maybe.
Yes, I think that's true. That's true.
Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I did get the eight of wands. Sorry, I always say swords, but eight of wands. The eight of wands, fast moving. So this one right here, and especially in this card, is like swift, rapid change and things like that. Arrows coming at you. So my first intention on this when I first picked it up was, this is not the last. It's not the first and it won't be the last. We not only have had volcanoes like crazy, we're going to have earthquakes like crazy. And the reason why is because the emotions and the chaos of the humans right now, we always pretend like we can't affect the earth, but the earth knows and feels just like we do. And if it's like an intensity, the earth is going to fight back. I just literally heard, just keep it up. We'll take care of it. You know what I mean? That's what I just heard. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of put out there that let's not lose the illusion that everything happens exactly ebb and flow. Energy is energy. We are all connected. No matter what, if we can see it or not, we are all connected in the earth, the animals, the trees, the water, everything. And so I just think that my card was representing there's a lot going to happen. This is not the last.
Indeed. All right, let's try and squeeze a bit more in. There's a question here about Charlie Kirk's wife. I also as well want to read on the texts as well, and then we'll see as well. There's someone who's worried about a prominent woman being assassinated, and I'll read about that. And I'm worried about Al Ghul, but I have an idea, maybe even who that might be. We won't read. We won't read on this one, but I wanted to honor Jerry Gelding's question. She said, "I'm still disgusted that the royals hosted Duck L'Orange, given Prince Andrew's association with Epstein. It makes me wonder if Charles was also involved. I don't think he was, but anyway, perhaps a little extortion from the orange one to help legitimize him to the rest of the world." Really what it's about, it's about trade. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, it really is. It's about trade. The UK economy is not doing so well right now. And really, the way I see it, the reason why Mandelson was employed, although Keir Starmer can never say it and deny he didn't know about the emails when he did, it's precisely because of his connections with Epstein that I think made him perfectly suitable for the job, And now it seems to be bearing fruit already. It's ugly, it's unseemly, but that's also called real politics. So I think that's the answer there. Let's do a one-card pull, but thank you, Jerry. Let's do a one-card pull. We've got a question here on Charlie Kirk's wife. Someone wanted to read, have Shakespeare on her, but it's too soon and we don't know enough about her, to be honest. And it's just causes unnecessary froth and negative attention, particularly in these times when they're looking to curb back on certain things. But anyway, so Shrophill Wing says, can you read the bard on CK's wife? Something does not quite line up. A lot of crazy stuff, misinformation and sorts. But let's, rather than do the bard, let's just read on her. Let's do a one-card pull and just see what we can find out about Mr. Kirk's wife. I don't know anything about her at all, and let's just have an energy. I don't know if she's going to be a factor going forward, but let's do a one-card pull. Lady G, you'll be going first, and let's just see, and then we'll move on and try and squeeze in two more. All right. Miss Kirk's wife. All right. Are we ready? All right. After three. 1, 2, 3. Lady G.
Oh, biting through. It's about taking decisive action, restoring order, force applied with sensitivity, justice, tenacious devotion to a task. I would say for her, it's the tenacious devotion to a task. And we've got the dragon out there. So she's more of that, you know, tenacious and just grasping at it. Yeah, decisive action. She doesn't want to lose anything with that organization.
Ah, wow, that is a corker. You see, one card can say so much. My goodness. Dave, what are you getting?
So, yeah, are you familiar with the show American Horror Story? And the sort of image is a nun, and the nun has like bleeding eyes. It's really creepy.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, and that image is what I see when I look at her. I don't even know her name, but I see that image, and it's like there's like empty circles, black circles here where the eyes are, and she turns just to another direction, and it's like ray guns, like burning guns of anger and rage and hatred. And I get a really dark feeling about this. Just that this like she's going to manipulate this rage and just go on a sort of dark attack. Maybe she will attempt to lead this group, which will be interesting because they're so sexist, and now it would be led by a woman. I think there's another attack dynamic going on in there, but ooh, boy, do I just that American Horror Story image just really find very upsetting.
Yeah.
Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
I want to preface this by entertainment purposes only, truly.
Mm-hmm.
So my first card was death, and then I drew the second card to find out why, because death is obviously obvious. And then I asked, and like, why do I get the death and trapped? She's more trapped now than she has ever been because of his death. Now she has to get out there and do exactly what they want, or I hate to say this, but her children are in extreme danger. And I don't know why I feel all this, but this is exactly what she is in his death. So I don't think she was involved, but she is now their spokesperson, and they're shoving her to, and I just feel like there's something really bad going on with her. And I do see how she's seething and very angry, and she wore white when she addressed, and she had like a black shirt, but a white, but anyways, that's what I got. Maybe I can do a little bit more in depth on my channel about that, but that's what I got.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here I get the 10 of Pentacles, and this is the card that deals with legacies, wanting to build a legacy. If we look here, we see it's the only card in the tarot that has all the generations of the family on it. You have the grandfather, you have his kids, the grandkid, and the dogs. So for me, I don't know anything about this woman. I just have to say what I see. It seems to me that she wants to carry on the memory of Kirk or whatever this establishment, this legacy that he's built, and she wants to carry that on. I understand, I think as well, that she's been doing some emails to raise funds as well or something like that. So, oh really? Yeah. So my instinct is that for her, the main priority is maintaining that legacy, and she's going to go in with that energy for whatever's required to maintain it. Yeah. So, wow. All right. So let's actually, and in fact, let's quickly squeeze one more in. And I was going to read on something else, but well, I'll have to try and remember for another time. Actually, we won't pull cards on it because I want to pull cards on the texts. But someone says, Jan Lowry says, I have a question for you, Hogarth and all. Marianne of Revealing Light Tarot, so we all know Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot in Australia, said she has a psychic hit and an assassination attempt on a woman is possible, saying AOC or Ilhan Omar. I'd like to know if it could be Pam Bondi. And then they say most killings are done by Republicans on Republicans, so it's logical. What I'm worried about when I heard that, and I don't want to spook everyone, remember Uranus is going backwards to our goal, which already we're seeing what? Assassinations and lynchings. The thing I'm worried about when I hear that, I'm worried about Kamala. She's on the book tour. Uranus is going backwards. Sudden shocks and surprises, and now we're getting lynchings. I'm just a bit worried about that. I hope that's not the case, but we don't have to read on it yet because I want to read on the text. But my instinct is like, oh, I'm more worried about that. Remember as well, he got rid of her security detail as well. Remember, it timed out, but he could have. Biden extended it, but he's gone with the original timing because 6 months afterwards you're not supposed to have protection. So, just saying there. What I'm going to quickly do is let's quickly read because we're already over, but let's do this one. So Spirit Reading says, hello, Spirit Crack team. Was the text message that the FBI released from Tyler, Robinson, to his roommate fabricated? Is Tyler safe while in custody? Is he's currently on watch? So we'll do a 1-card pull. I've got my opinions, but let's just see what the cards say. So are those texts legit, or is there more going on? And then who went first? Who needs to go first this time? It's you, Lady Jane.
Last time.
Oh, okay. So it's Dave then. All right. All right. 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. All right. So Dave, what's your interpretation of those texts?
So I get they're selective. So they're releasing some, but not all, right? So and I'll just tell you all literally what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a G-man in his suit, right? And there's a prison cell behind him. And he's kind of standing in front of the door of the jail, which is open, right? But it's almost like he's covering up. You can't see him. You can see this though. Here, you can see that portion. You can see this. So they're just selectively releasing the truth. They're not actually lying. They're just taking out all the ones where he's, perhaps a conservative lunatic, and releasing the ones that make him look in a particular light.
Wow. Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, my first card up was power supply. So, of course, the Gemini in me has to take the second card, and it says justice. So there is a thing that they're trying to, again, he's trying to pander to his base. The more punishment they give this guy, the more collectively they're going to keep his base under control. And they want the death penalty, but they can't get the death penalty because the threshold's too high in Utah. He doesn't meet the threshold to get the death penalty. So what they're trying to do is literally to change the narrative, to control the narrative, and all of that is literally just to control his base. Again, smart people know what it is for justice. Smart people know what it's like, you know, when you go in for custody and what the thresholds are and all that. But his base doesn't, so they need meat. It's a power supply to his people.
Well, the card I get the Empress, which is a bit of an unusual card in this scenario. Now, this card, as you know, I associate this card usually with Russia, but I don't think Russia's involved in this one. And, you know, and it can be easy to blame them for everything, but we need to be realistic here as well. This card can also talk about the, you know, America as well. For some people, the Empress card is America. But the important thing to understand with the Empress card is about bounty. It's about harvest. It's about fertility and stuff like that. And it's also about creativity. And my instinct here is that they're being very creative with these texts. With the sample that were read out, my first instinct was, I don't think a 22-year-old is saying that kind of thing. Or maybe they've sampled some things or not shown others, but there's almost this element here of creativity and this narrative that they're trying to create, which again could affect what? All of America. And one of the things, as you guys know, I always say, what is under the Empress's skirts? Do you remember when I read this last time and I said tumbleweed, and there was a big massive tumbleweed attack across all of the United States? But what this says to me is there's something under the skirts here, where they're having to be creative and imaginative, and they're wanting something to grow. It's almost like they want the base to be pregnant or impregnated with a certain idea, because this is a card of pregnancy as well. So for me, I'm not buying those texts. I think there's a subtext, there's stuff underneath the skirts, and it's about impregnation for me. Lady G?
Well, I've got the card of pushing upwards, and there are going to be some challenges with it. And of course, we've got the magic mushrooms, and we know what they grow on. So, yeah, that's it. A bunch of crap. But, and then we've got the magic mushrooms, the little LSD type things going on. So, yeah, they're going to keep pushing and trying to progress, but there will be challenges to it.
Oh, wow. Folks, the time has gone in an absolute flash. I want to say thank you to everyone who's joining us here, who joined us here this evening. We had 2,730, I think it was, or 20, lots of you anyway. Thank you to my guests, of course, sharing your gifts and talents. Dave, great to have you back. And of course, I'll be emailing you after the show to see when you're next available. And, you know, we've got this kind of thing going now, isn't it? This momentum here. And thank you so much as well to everyone who's been tuning in. Please be sure, of course, to like and subscribe and share to help this channel continue to grow, and so this content can reach much people. Thank you, as many people as possible. Thank you as well for the donations and your questions and your intelligent and quick responses, and picking up on us whenever we may drop the ball on one or two things. You guys are always there. So awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We will leave it there. We're gone way over. But thanks so much, and I hope you enjoyed the show. So big love, and bye-bye for now, everyone. Yeah? Bye-bye.
Bye.